Hey, good morning, hello everyone. This is 10 Minute Tuesday, second edition. The intention of this small live bits is that I talk about a subject, I gather some response, some comments, and I try to make it quick and make it in 10 minutes. So I have a timer here to make sure I don't overdo it. After the 24 hours that it's available on the stories, I post it on YouTube and I post it on Instagram TV as well, so you can watch it and send me feedback. The topic I'm going to talk about today is our pace, which means the speed we do the things, our rhythm. Last Thursday, kind of had this memory of a conversation that I had back in Brazil when I was working in Brazil, of a conversation that I had about someone who was considering to start taking drugs to start working faster, for their brains to work faster. And I myself, when I was in a very fast-paced routine, I would take loads of coffee and I would take Red Bulls and whatever to make me stay awake for longer, make me work harder, and make me accomplish more things and make me fit more stuff in less time. A very important and fundamental thing that we often take for granted and we don't quite realize, especially if for people who are burned out or who burned out or who are inclined to burning out. People who are high achievers, who want to accomplish a lot of stuff, we want to make as much as possible with our time, and we think that we're never doing enough. And this is something that I'm inviting you to reflect on. How is your pace going? Do you think you're going too slow? Do you think you're going too fast? And why do you think that? Because we're sometimes comparing ourselves to people who have different realities than ours, who have different systems, who have different incomes, and who God knows if they don't have 1,000 assistants who do everything for them. And so they seem that like someone who can accomplish a lot of stuff in a day. To pay attention is what is our pace and what is your pace, what is natural for you. And the way that you're going to do that is really like paying attention to how many hours in the day are you actually doing work, are you actually productive. There's research that shows that we are not exactly productive more than 3 hours a day. So because I had a burnout and because I'm recovered, but still, I'm still in the 2-year window. It takes 2 years after you burn out to really feel recovered. So I'm still in that window, so I'm still taking care and still preventing, as I will for the rest of my life. So obviously my rhythm is still way slower than I was before. But that doesn't mean that I'm getting less stuff done, because I work about 20 hours a week now. I don't intend of coming back to 40 hours, because I also think that we are buying to something that we produce if we work 40 hours a week, and we really don't, because our brains have a limit. One of the things I wrote about in the article is that we have this feeling that everything is being accelerated, because we have these devices, and we have, I'm live here sitting in my desk, real time for everyone, and if I post this, it's going to be available at the same second. If we send a message, we receive it and respond. So things are happening in a very fast way. We're getting response from our technologies super fast, and we're expecting that we should also be that fast. We should also respond to email very fast. If we press the button and it does what we want, we should also do that. And that's really not the case, because if we look around, nature is not instant. No, it doesn't take 5 seconds for a tree to grow or for bodies to develop. We still need to wait 9 months for a baby to be made inside a belly, right? So there's still times of nature, and because we are playing God in this thing that we do, that we create so many technologies and so many amazing things, we often tend to think that we can manipulate things that we actually can't, and that we can control things that we actually can't. Time is one of them, that we think that if we just give everything we have and we do everything we can, we're gonna do 10 times more. If we work 10 times more, we're going to get 10 times more accomplished. And that's really not how it works, because we have our limitations. We are limited creatures, despite of, the trust in yourself, you can do everything you want, the sky is the limit, woohoo, nothing's impossible. Yeah, some things are. So it's really important that we understand what is our center, what is our baseline pace. And from that, you can understand when you're going too fast or when you're going too slow. But first of all, you need to understand what is your baseline pace. So the first thing I would say is to observe yourself. See how you do the things that you do at home, your study, your work, what feels natural and what doesn't. What are the trends that you also observe? Sometimes that we have cycles, just like nature have the seasons, and we have our circadian rhythm. So we have time of the day that we're more alert. We have a time of the day where we're sleepy. There's research of that. There's tons of literature on that we can, we can plan our days around when we are optimal for something. So I do creative work in the morning because I have less judgment in my mind working in the morning. And then I do organized stuff in the afternoon because I'm more alert. So this is the kind of thing that if we try to put ourselves into the paces and the things that are someone determined that things should be like that, God knows why. If we try to put ourselves and to fit into these things, we're not going to be doing our best work. And then we're going to be frustrated. Nobody's going to be happy. No one, anywhere. People at your work would also not going to be happy. People in your life will also not be happy because you won't be doing anything. And so take a look at how your day works, how your week works. Maybe there's one day of the week that you're miserable. And instead of forcing into trying to function like a machine, understand, write down, take notes, and then plan your day and plan your week accordingly. Do it, understand what is your expectation about what you need to accomplish. Because I know we often feel that we're going very slow on things. I started the Better Achiever almost a year ago, and I know that people would have, written the book already, done a lot of stuff already, but that's, I'm not people, and I can't do that. But it is very difficult to get to that point where we understand, and sometimes I also feel a little bit, it's confusing, and I understand that. So that's why it's important that we have our center, that we understand that, okay, so everything around me is happening really fast, but I'm gonna have the practice and I'm gonna have the consistency of knowing what I can ask of myself. And that's okay if it's not a lot. It's okay if it's not a lot, because it's whatever you can do, and you're just gonna learn it by doing and trying. And another thing, one last thing, there's a concept of the pacemaker. They use it in marathons and sprints, and the pacemaker is a runner that he or she, they stay in the race. They're not competing, but they're just there to make sure that people don't go too fast, that they're not going to be able to get to the finish line. And so if we find people in our lives that we see that they do things and they're not, killing themselves, and we take them as the pacemakers instead of Beyonce, instead of the CEO that doesn't sleep and doesn't see his family, the people who are around us and who do realistic things. These are our pacemakers. So think about who can be your pacemaker, and think about when you work the best, what are your limits, and adjust your expectations accordingly and do things accordingly. Don't burn yourself out. That's pretty much my message always. Obviously, this is a conversation that's much longer than this. If you have anything to add, ask. I'm always here on messengers and emails and comments and everything. I'm very curious to see what you have to say about this. Have a very good day, and I see you around.